Okay. So we are going to start February, March 2023, paper 1-2. Let's start with question number 1 only. With question number 1. 4 equations representing reaction of nitrogen or one of its compound are given. Okay, so there are 4 equations, either of nitrogen or its compound. Which equation represents a disproportionation reaction? If you recall a disproportionation reaction, it is a reaction in which one species both undergo both reduction and oxidation. Okay. So here nitrogen in both the reactant and product as a nitrate, not a redox reaction. Here nitrogen to -3, which means nitrogen only undergo reduction. So B goes wrong. If you see nitrogen is -3 in both the cases, so yes, C goes wrong as well, which means D is left. So D is your correct answer. Very good, Azif. So see how D is correct, because see in A there, if you see in A there is a nitrate on both the sides, right? So if the nitrate is there and calcium is there only, calcium is there as a compound only, so there is no change in oxidation number. So if you look over here, there are 2 oxygens, which means this nitrogen is +4. Here you all know that nitrogen is +5, and here you all know that nitrogen is +3. So see, nitrogen is changing from +4 to +5, which is oxidation, and the other nitrogen changes from +4 to +3, which is reduction. So D is your correct answer. Is this clear? Now question number 2. The diagram shows Boltzmann distribution for 1 mole of a gas. The gas takes part in a reaction with an activation energy EA. Okay. Which statement correctly describes the effect of increase in temperature? So we all know that what happens to the when the temperature is increased, that the curve shifts like this, right? So the peak P now will be lower, and here they are saying that it will be higher. So A and B goes wrong. And if you look at activation energy, so fewer molecules will have a energy greater than activation energy goes wrong, because now there are more molecules which have an energy greater than activation energy, right? So D is correct. D is your answer for question number 2. Okay. Now, question number 3. A student carries out 4 experiments to investigate the rate of reaction between 3 grams of calcium. So, this is the equation. For experiment DMQ. So all the conditions are same, right? For experiment 1 and 2. And is used. Okay. So larger chips makes and its room temperature and it's 35 degrees Celsius. So it would be the slowest one. It would be the slow. And these two are the fastest or fast one. Is this understandable to everyone? Now look at the answers. The most slowest one is experiment number 3. So here we are getting the greatest value for experiment number 3, right? Which makes A and D wrong. Okay. Now we are left with B and C. If you compare B and C, so C can be considered as wrong because experiment 2 is taking more time than experiment 4, which is not possible because experiment 2 have a 2 mole per dm cube hydrochloric acid with calcium carbonate being a powder. So that's why it would take lesser time than experiment number 4. That's why C goes wrong as well. So we are left with the B option only. So B is correct. And one more thing, most of you have a question that why, because experiment number 1 and experiment 2 have a same conditions, then why their time is different. So think, what is this time? This is 5 seconds only. So obviously this is 5 seconds is a very less time. So there could be a possibility an error which makes this difference that 5 second or 10 second. Okay. So the correct answer is B for question number 3. Now let's move to question number 4. The table shows the partial pressures in an equilibrium mixture formed by the Haber process. Okay, they already provided you the partial pressures. What is the numerical value of the equilibrium constant Kp for this reaction? I think this is very easiest for Kp. So partial pressure of ammonia squared divided by partial pressure of hydrogen cube multiplied by partial pressure of nitrogen. So if you put the values for ammonia, it's 4000 whole square divided by, for hydrogen it's 8000 cube, and for nitrogen it's 7000. You have to just put in the calculator and solve it. So can anybody tell me what value we are getting? -4.46 exponent -9. Okay. So that's make B, C, and D goes wrong, and A is our correct answer. Okay. Now question number 5. A reversible reaction is shown. Okay. Which position of the equilibrium to the right and increase the value of the equilibrium constant. So the delta H is positive. So if the delta H is positive, then remember Kc or Kp value is actually affected by temperature only. So For positive enthalpy changes for the reactions whose delta H is positive or the reactions which are actually endothermic, temperature increases the value of Kc. And increase in temperature shifts the equilibrium towards the endothermic side as well. So if you see, this is the only correct possible answer. A, B, and C goes wrong, and D is the correct one. Okay. Now, question number 6. The ore silomelane may be considered to have the general formula Ba MnX positive MnY positive times 8O16OH4. Okay. In this general formula, X positive and Y positive are the two different oxidation states of a manganese in the silomelane ion. What could be the value of X and Y? So you have to identify the values of X and Y. Okay, let me write this general formula over here. BaMn with the X positive and Mn with a Y positive. There are 8 of this kind. Then O16 and OH4. So the net charge is equals to 0. There is -1 times 4. There is -2 times 16. And there is 8Y positive, X positive, and it's in group 2, so 2 positive. So see over here, 2 positive, X plus 8Y collectively, and -32 and -4 is equals to 0. Okay. So if I further solve it, I will get X plus 8Y is equals to plus 34. So it means the collective oxidation number of these are plus 34. You have to figure out the values of X and Y. Okay. So there, if you work on A, so X is positive 2 and Y is positive 4. So 8 times 4 gives you 32. 32 plus 2 gives you positive 34. So see, I'm getting the correct value. So that's why A is correct and B, C, and D goes wrong. Okay. Pressure does not change the Kc or Kp value. Remember, only temperature changes the Kc and Kp value. Okay. Now question number 7. Silicon reacts with a mixture of a calcium oxide and magnesium oxide at 500 degrees Celsius. Okay. Which statement about this reaction is correct? Calcium is 2 positive over here. Okay, let me work over here. Magnesium is 0, silicon is 0, magnesium is 2 positive, and silicon is 2 positive. So you can see that silicon is oxidized and magnesium is reduced. So calcium is reduced, wrong. Magnesium is reduced. Calcium is neither oxidized nor reduced, that is correct. Magnesium is reduced, that is correct. Silicon is neither oxidized nor reduced, that is wrong. Silicon is reduced, wrong. So if you see, we are left with the B option only, so B is our correct answer. Question number 8. In which species is there a lone pair of electron? You all know methane. no electron, and positive ion, which means it is electron deficient. So if it is electron deficient, it also doesn't have uh, any lone pair. Okay. So B and D are wrong. Now, if you look over here, there is a negative charge. So, which means carbon electrons have one hydrogen, and this have a pair of electron, one extra electron. That's why it makes it have a whole negative charge, which makes it the correct one, and is your correct answer. Yes. Is this clear to everyone till here? Yes. If anyone have any issue, do ask. Okay. Now, question number 9. Under which conditions will nitrogen behave most likely an ideal gas? So, to behave as an ideal gas, if you recall, any gas which have a low pressure and high temperature, then that gas behaves as an ideal gas. So, low temperature, both options go wrong. And here high pressure makes D option. So B is your correct answer. Okay. Now, question number 10. Chemical reaction is shown. All substances are in their standard states. Which statement describes the standard enthalpy change of a reaction for this reaction? Okay. Enthalpy level of 1 mole of product is produced. So see, reactant reacted. So see, there is no 1 mole of a reactant either. The enthalpy change when 1 mole of a water reacts, there are 3 moles of water are being reacted. So A, B, and C goes wrong, which indicates that D is the correct one. But see, the enthalpy change when 6 moles of hydrogen fluoride are produced. So see, 6 moles of hydrogen fluoride are producing over here. So that's why D is considered as a correct answer. Because when we do the low pressure, the molecules gets further away, and when the molecules gets further away, their intermolecular forces becomes insignificant, and that's make a gas ideal gas. Okay. Now question number 11. Molten aluminum chloride has a simple molecular structure. Each molecule consists of 2 aluminum atoms and 6 chlorine atoms. Okay. atoms in 1 gram of molten aluminum chloride have the same mass. Is this a correct statement or a wrong statement? Yes. Yes, please. Who is going to tell me is this a correct or a wrong statement? If you guys recall, chlorine have two isotopes. One is chlorine 35 and one is chlorine 37. Chlorine 35 is 75% abundant and chlorine 37 is 25% abundant, right? So all the chlorine atoms in 1 gram of aluminum chloride does not have a same mass due to this. So A goes wrong. Okay. 1 mole of molten aluminum chloride contains 6.02 exponent 23 aluminum atoms. So see, there are 2 aluminum atoms. So if I take 1 mole of molten aluminum chloride, I would have a this times 2 of aluminum atoms. So that's why B goes wrong. 1 mole of molten aluminum chloride have 3.61 exponent 24 chlorines. So there are 6 chlorines. So if I 6 times 6.02 exponent 23, if I do this, will I get this value? Yes, I think so. The empirical formula of aluminum chloride is Al2Cl6, completely wrong, because if we go for empirical formula, it is AlCl3. So D goes wrong and we have the correct answer C. Okay. Now, question number 12. Which atom contains which atom contains 4 times as many neutrons as lithium? So if we work for the neutrons of lithium, so we will get 4 neutrons. Okay. And 4 times as many neutrons as lithium. So 4 times 4 gives you 16. So here, if you subtract it, you will get 20. Here you will subtract it, you will get 12. Here you will subtract it, I think, yes, 16. And here you will get 12. So D, B, and A goes wrong. And C is your correct answer. Is this clear to everyone? Now question number 13. This statement about the first ionization energies of magnesium and neon is correct. Okay. Magnesium and neon. Okay. So either magnesium or neon, which one have a greater value of ionization energy? Yes. Obviously, it will be neon because it have only 2 periods. So the valence electron are closer. And ionization energy is never been exothermic. So D goes wrong as well. And C is your correct answer. Okay. Now question number 14. In a sample of a pure water, what is the maximum number of hydrogen bonds that one molecule of water can be involved in? Yes, interesting question. So if we make one water molecule as a subject, for example, this is one water molecule. In this one water molecule, there are 2 lone pairs of electron as well. Okay. So this makes it partial negative. So due to these lone pair, this water molecule is going to form two bonds over there, right? Molecule will also going to attract these hydrogen. I'm just making it a subject, so that's why I'm highlighting it. So see, if I am considering one water molecule, so around that one water molecule, how many hydrogen bonds it is involved? It is involved with 4 hydrogen bonds, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So your correct answer would be D, and rest of the A, B, and C are wrong. Okay. Now, question number 15. Hydrated cobalt to sulfate loses water when heated to give anhydrous cobalt to sulfate. All the water of crystallization is lost. 3.10 gram of hydrated. Okay, so this is the mass of this, and this is the cobalt, and let me know what is the AR of cobalt. Yes, can anybody tell me the AR value? Cobalt, of cobalt. Yes, of cobalt. Yes, can anybody tell me the AR of cobalt, please? We are getting 1.39 grams of water. 96 is the AR of sulfate. What is the AR of cobalt, please? No one have a periodic table. 58.9. Okay. I hope you guys have a calculator with you. So 58.9. So if I try to get the mass of anhydrous cobalt sulfate, it is equals to okay, thank you, Mehveen. It is equals to 3.10 minus 1.39. Yes. And it is subtracted 10 minus 9 is 1. I think 1.7. So 1.71 divided by, and this one is going to be divided by 18, and this one is going to be divided by 58.9 plus 96. 58.9 plus 96. 154.9. Can anybody solve and tell me the answers, please? Okay, so it is 0.011 and it is 1.39 over 18. What is the answer? Yes. Zero point zero seven seven. So the lower value is 0.011. So you have to divide 0.11 from both and you will get 1:7. So it means the value of x over here is 7. So A, B, and D are wrong, and C is the correct answer. Okay, is this clear to everyone? Now, question number 16. Okay, just give me a minute, please. Okay. Hydrogen. Okay, here we have. Which statements are correct? Diatomic molecules have exact values of their bond energies, which are always positive. Yes, that is correct because diatomic molecules normally have a one bond in them. So that their bond energies are the exact values and they are always the positive because to break those bonds we need the energy. The trend in group 7 is our halogens in bond energies can be explained by the variation in instantaneous dipole forces. They can affect only the melting point and the boiling point, and the density is not the bond energy. So second statement goes wrong and its second goes wrong. So you are left with only two options. The value for the enthalpy change for the reaction between deuterium and chlorine can be calculated using this data alone. So if you see, they are talking about the reaction between deuterium and chlorine. So here is deuterium and here is chlorine. And you are going to get 2 deuterium chloride moles. So the bond energy of this bond is missing, right? And if it's missing, do third statement as well, which makes C wrong as well. And A is the correct answer. Okay. Now, question number 6. Two procedures are described. Sulfur is burned in excess of oxygen and then NO is added to the product mixture. Sulfur is burned in excess oxygen and then NO2 is added to the product mixture. Which procedure will produce some sulfur trioxide? So if you recall, this is the correct one. And because this is what happens in the atmosphere as well when the sulfur dioxide is formed. NO2 reacts with that sulfur dioxide to give you sulfur trioxide. So here we are getting sulfur dioxide if it reacts with NO. Sulfur trioxide and N2. Yeah, this is also be possible. Yeah. And in the same way, when sulfur dioxide reacts with nitrogen dioxide, we will get sulfur trioxide and NO. Okay. So in both the reactions, sulfur trioxide can be formed. So B, C, D, and D goes wrong. And A is your correct answer. Now question number 18. Powder P is a mixture containing 2 of silver chloride, silver bromide, or silver iodide. Okay. two out of these three. P is shaken into a dilute aqueous ammonia. A yellow solid Q remains. Okay, so remember a yellow solid Q is silver iodide. Okay, a yellow solid Q is silver iodide. The mixture is filtered and Q is washed and dried. The filter is collected and treated with aqueous nitric acid to produce white precipitate R. So when we add nitric acid, all the ammonia which we have added initially will be neutralized. So white precipitates are formed again. So it means that the white precipitates are of silver chloride. Okay. These white precipitates are of silver chloride. Okay. Now, Q and R warmed separately with concentrated sulfuric acid, which observations are made. In this case, if you remember, when sulfuric acid, it reacts with sulfuric acid, it turns into iodine, and iodine have a violet fumes. So with Q, C and D goes wrong, either A or B. And here with sulfuric acid and a hydrochloric acid, because when we add H2SO4 with it, we will end with AgHSO4 and HCl. So HCl never undergo reaction further. So HCl will show you steamy fumes, not any orange fumes. So A goes wrong and B is the correct answer. Okay, is this clear to everyone? Now question number 19. Two period 3 elements X and Y abundantly in oxygen to solid oxide. The oxide is in O3 and SiO2. The oxide of Y dissolves in water to form solution which dissolves in the oxide of X. Okay. What could be X and Y? So see, in this case, when both are acidic, so they do not dissolve into one another. So C and D goes wrong. And in the same way, this also goes wrong because magnesium hydroxide and sodium. So they also do not, dissolve. But aluminium oxide being an amphoteric and sodium hydroxide being an alkaline will undergo reaction. So A is your correct answer in this case over here. Okay. Because if both the substances are acidic, their oxides are going to be acidic, and both the substances and their oxides are going to be basic, they do not react. And they either do not dissolve. Okay. Now question number 20. Which law describes the structure and bonding of SiO2 and SiCl4? You must remember that you have studied this in your O levels as well. It's giant covalent and it is simple covalent. So ionic makes C and D wrong. Okay. Because they are not and giant covalent. Okay. Just give me a minute, please. Okay. Question number 21. A sample containing 0.01 mole of anhydrous nitrate is heated during is heated strongly. This falls following condition. What is the volume of gas produced? Okay. So if you go for equation, what we will get calcium oxide, 2 moles of nitrogen dioxide gas. So how many getting two? Okay. So here we have 0. Okay. So here the moles of gas 2, 5 in this case, and I have to find the volume. Multiple 24. Can anybody multiply it and tell me the? Yes, what is the answer? Yeah, I'm doing with 24. So afterward, just multiplied by 1,000 over here. Yes, what is the answer? So you will be getting 600 centimeter cube. When you convert into a centimeter cube, it would become 600. So A, C, and D goes wrong, and B is your correct answer. Okay. Okay. Now question number 22. V and Z both are elements in period 3 of the periodic table. Each element forms one stable ion that does not contain another element. Okay. The atomic radius of each element and the ionic radius of the ion described above is shown. Okay. So if you compare V, the ionic radius is decreased, which means V is a cation. And here, if you see the anionic radius is increased, which means that it is an anion. Because normally in anion, the electron is gained in the same shell. So that's why this gets bigger. What they are saying in first statement, ions of V and Z have the same number of full electron shells. No, it is not possible. Ions of Z are positively charged. No. Z has a greater electronegativity than V. Yes, that's why it is forming an anion. V has a more outer electrons than Z. No, because it's forming a cation, so it always have lesser electrons in its outermost shell. So C goes correct. Rest are wrong. Now, question number 23. Okay, question number 23. Sorry. In group 2 of the periodic table, the properties of the elements and their compounds show regular change in the group. Which property shows a decrease from magnesium to barium? Okay. Temperature of the carbonates. So magnesium is over here. Then we have a calcium. Then we have a strontium. Then we have a barium. Okay. So down the group, their decomposition increases. Decomposition temperature increases, which makes A wrong. The decomposition nitrates, that also increases. The solubility of hydroxide, that also increases, if you recall. Only the solubility of sulfates is the one which decreases. So D is correct answer in this case. Now, for properties of beryllium, Be or beryllium, compounds are listed. Okay. Element or its compound. Which property is different from the property of magnesium or the equivalent magnesium compound? Okay. Beryllium reacts with oxygen when heated in air. Magnesium does not. This is wrong. Magnesium also heated in air. Beryllium reacts with extra sulfuric acid to form a metal sulfate and hydrogen. Magnesium does not. Know that same things magnesium do as well. Barium nitrate decomposes on heating to form a metal oxide, nitrogen dioxide, and oxygen. Magnesium nitrate does not. No, that is also wrong. Beryllium chloride reacts with water to form fumes of HCl. Magnesium chloride does not. Yes, magnesium chloride does not shows the fumes of HCl. So please this question. Okay. For represents a pair of structural isomers. No. This 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 5. It is also, both are the same compounds if you see, right? There is skeletal formulas. So A goes wrong. Now, if you look at the B, there is a carboxylic acid over here. And if you look at the next one, it is also the same. So B goes wrong as well. Now C. There are 3 carbon with a carboxylic acid. There 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 carbons. So C goes wrong. They cannot be the isomers. Now to yes, they can be an isomers of each other. Now question number 26. Which reagents and conditions could result in the formation of butane nitrile? 1 bromobutane heated under pressure with ammonia and ethanol. It will give you a amine. 1 bromobutane heated with potassium cyanide and ethanol. You recall. This is the correct answer. This is how we get the nitrile. Propanol heated with hydrogen cyanide in the presence of potassium cyanide. It will gives you hydroxy cyanide. So which makes C. Propanol heated with hydrogen cyanide in the presence of potassium cyanide. So again, we are going to get hydroxy nitriles, not just nitriles. So we are left with only one option. Is this clear to everyone? Now question number 27. Okay. Compound X reacts with no hot alcoholic NaOH to produce two compounds Y and Z. On reaction of bromine, Y gives a product C17H12Br2, which exists as a mixture of four optical isomers. On the reaction with bromine, Z gives a product with YBX. Okay, so we are getting the product which is non-chiral, right? So if you look over here, this is not a chiral. We have both the sides same, right? So B, C, and D goes wrong, and A is your correct answer. Is this clear to everyone? '28. When illudine S is heated under reflux with an excess of acidified potassium dichromate, compound M is formed. Okay. What is the molecular formula of the compound M? Okay, molecular formula of compound M. Okay. When S is heated under reflux within, okay, so it would be oxidized. So when it would be oxidized, here we are going to get a ketone, not a hydrogen. And here we are going to get a carboxylic acid. And this one is a secondary alcohol. So let's count the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oxygens are there. So C is wrong. There are 5 oxygens. So let me count 1. Okay. Now question number 29. Cyclohexene is a hydrocarbon with a 6-membered ring of carbon atoms. It has several structural isomers that are straight chain alkenes. The number of double bonds in each of these molecules is P. Okay. What is the shape of the cyclohexene molecule and what is the value of P? So if we talk about cyclohexene, there is a 1 double bond F. Then they are considered as So it must be non-planar. And the number of double bonds in each of these molecule of P. So it's a cyclohexene. So their straight chain isomers have a 2 double bonds. So the C goes wrong and D is the correct answer. I'm ending the class over here and I'm going to share this file with you. I think how many questions are left? There are $29.